My beloved ones, let me ask you a question. Have you ever paused long enough to discover what hidden treasure lies in the stillness of your own forehead? So many of you live in this world as beggars, wandering in the dust, looking outside for jewels that will never satisfy your hunger. Yet, God has placed His temple within you, and the doors of that temple are not far away, not buried in the clouds, not in the distant Himalayas, but right here, behind the quiet place between your brows. This is the seat of divine vision, the throne of intuition, the luminous door through which you may behold your own soul and the infinite beloved. Why do I speak to you about pressing the third eye, about giving your attention there for even 60 seconds? Because sometimes the mind of man is restless like 1,000 horses pulling him in different directions. But if you can discipline the body to remain still, if you can steady the eyes and gently direct your awareness to the Christ center between the eyebrows, even for a brief moment, you begin to awaken a current of light, a vibration that carries you beyond the little self. Do not think it is the mere physical pressing that holds the power. The real pressing is the devotion of your attention, the yearning of your soul knocking at the door of spirit. The light of God shines always at the spiritual eye, but most men pass their lives never looking there, never bowing at that inner altar. If for 60 seconds you bring your entire being to that point, sincerely, with faith, you will begin to feel that you are no longer merely flesh and bone but a child of eternity. Many people think God is far away, hidden in the skies. They pray with words, they beg with emotions, but their eyes wander on the earth and their thoughts scatter in 1,000 directions. God answers the one who learns to pray with his attention. When you press your awareness to the third eye, when you hold it there lovingly, God feels your call more clearly than the loudest cry from your lips. Because that place between the eyebrows is the divine receiving station, the portal where human consciousness meets the infinite. Let me tell you, children, you cannot enter the kingdom of God by the restless door of the senses. The ears hear 1,000 noises, the eyes chase 1,000 forms, the tongue hungers for many flavors, and the heart becomes weary running after them. But the spiritual eye is the one-pointed doorway. If you want to go into the temple of peace, you must walk through a single gate, not 10 gates at once. That single gate is here. And if for 1 minute each day you train yourself to enter it, you will begin to taste a freedom that no earthly delight can offer. Now you may ask me, Master, what will happen if I do this? What miracle shall I expect in 60 seconds? My children, you must not look for miracles as the world measures them. The greatest miracle is not that you will see visions or lights, though they may come. The greatest miracle is that you will begin to know yourself as spirit, not as body. That recognition, even in a small glimpse, is worth more than all the gold of the earth. Yes, perhaps you may see a star of light forming, perhaps a golden halo encircling a blue radiance, perhaps your breath will slow and your heart will calm. But these are but signs. The true happening is that your restless mind begins to kneel before the infinite. The ego, for a brief instant, bows down, and the soul looks out through the doorway it has forgotten for so many lifetimes. That is what happens. And if you make this practice not for 60 seconds only, but again and again, daily, patiently, you will find that the brief spark grows into a steady flame, and the flame becomes a blazing sun of divine awareness. Remember, my beloved, the pressing is not violence. Do not strain. The body is the servant, not the master. Let your touch be gentle. Let your gaze be soft. Let your devotion be firm. When you bring the attention there, it is as if you are knocking gently on the temple door. Knock with faith and the door shall open. If you knock with impatience, the door may remain shut. But when you knock with love, with reverence, with stillness, God cannot resist you. He must answer. I tell you truly, if you give even 60 seconds of pure, concentrated devotion at the third eye, you will feel a new vibration enter your life. Perhaps you will feel more peace in your day. Perhaps your anger will soften. Perhaps your fears will diminish. The outer world may not notice, but inside you will know that something subtle has shifted. That is God's answer. It is not always thunder and lightning. Sometimes it is a whisper, sometimes it is a fragrance, sometimes it is the coolness of the inner breeze. So much of your suffering comes because your attention is scattered. The world has tied you with ropes of desire, and you are dragged here and there like a puppet. But when you fix your gaze on the third eye, even briefly, you cut one rope. Each day you cut another. Soon you are no longer a puppet, but a free soul dancing with God. That is why I urge you, do not neglect this sacred practice. Even if for 60 seconds, do it with love. There are disciples who meditate for hours, but their minds wander like leaves in the wind. There are others who meditate but do not know where to fix their devotion. Better than restless hours is 1 minute of deep concentration at the spiritual eye. For that 1 minute can draw you nearer to God than hours of mechanical sitting. Do not count time in hours and minutes. Count it in depth of devotion. 1 moment of union with God outweighs a lifetime of idle prayers. As you grow in this practice, you will discover that the 60 seconds become like 60 eternities. Time disappears. You will wonder, was it only a minute? Or was it forever? Because the soul lives outside of time, and at the third eye you begin to step into the eternal. Even a drop of that nectar changes your life. Therefore, beloved, let us now meditate together. Sit upright, spine straight, body relaxed. Close your eyes gently. With your right thumb, you may press lightly at the point between your eyebrows, not harshly, but enough to feel the center awaken. Then release the thumb and let your gaze rest there, inwardly, as though you are looking through that point into a boundless space. Hold your attention there with devotion. If thoughts come, do not follow them. Keep pressing inward with your mind, with your heart. Say silently, Lord, reveal thyself at this altar of light. Do this for 60 seconds with complete sincerity. Do you feel the stillness? Do you feel how the breath slows, how the body grows quiet, how the mind surrenders? This is the door opening. The more you practice, the wider the door will open, until one day you will walk through it and never return to ignorance again. But my dear ones, do not be impatient. Do not demand visions or ecstasies as though they were toys. God reveals himself in his own time, when he knows you are ready, when your devotion has ripened. For now, be content with the peace that comes with the silence, with the joy of knowing that you have touched the hem of his garment. Every 60 seconds spent in this practice is a pearl placed in the treasury of your soul. Gather pearls each day, and soon you will have a necklace of divine light encircling your being. I tell you this from my own experience, not from books. From childhood, I have known the bliss of the inner eye, the radiant star that leads to Christ consciousness. That star is real, more real than the sun that shines in the sky. It is waiting for you, and the way to find it is not in complicated rituals, not in endless debates, but in simple devotion, in the pressing of your attention upon the third eye with love. So when you rise in the morning, before you plunge into the duties of the day, give 60 seconds to God at this altar. When you lie down at night, before sleep overtakes you, give another 60 seconds. And in moments of worry, of anger, of temptation, press your awareness there for even a brief instant, and you will feel the storm calm, the clouds part. Children, will you not try it? Will you not give at least this minute each day to your beloved? You give hours to work, to food, to sleep, to endless pursuits that vanish with death. But a minute given to God is never lost. It is immortal. It is the seed that will grow into liberation. Remember, the infinite is not far. He is as close as your next breath, as near as your own heartbeat. But you must look for him where he waits. And he waits at the gate of the spiritual eye. Knock there, press there, love there, and watch what happens. The saints of all ages have spoken of this. Christ said, "If thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light." Krishna spoke of the 1,000-petaled lotus, the upward gaze. The yogis of the Himalayas all point to the same secret. And I, your humble servant, repeat it again to you. Concentrate at the third eye with devotion, even for 60 seconds, and you will touch the hem of the eternal. Do not delay, my children. Begin today, for each breath may be your last. What will you take with you when death comes? Not your possessions, not your titles, not your name. Only the treasures you have gathered in God consciousness. So begin with 60 seconds. Let it grow into minutes, into hours, into a lifetime of union. And when at last you merge into that infinite light, you will look back and smile, remembering how it all began, with a gentle pressing of your attention at the spot between your brows, for just 60 seconds, and watching as the doors of eternity open before you.